So if you're even thinking about buying a new computer or a phone or, hey, even just upgrading your current setup, I've got some pretty bad news. There's this massive global crisis unfolding right now in the tech world, and it's about to hit you directly where it hurts, your wallet.
And no, this isn't some future prediction. It's happening right now. The parts that make our digital lives tick, specifically memory, RAM, are seeing a price surge that is so dramatic it's completely rewriting the rules of the game for the entire tech industry. And it's not because of what you think, like inflation or shipping costs. Oh no, the real reason is way, way bigger.
I mean, the speed of this is just staggering. Just look at this. Between September and December of 2025 alone, the price for a standard 16-gigabit DDR5 chip, that's the stuff that powers most new PCs, it shot up by almost 300%. Think about that. A tiny component that costs less than $7 suddenly costs over $27. That's not a gentle curve, folks. That's a vertical climb.
So, what on earth is going on, right? How can such a basic, fundamental piece of our technology get so expensive, so incredibly fast? Well, the answer, it's actually not that complicated. It all comes down to one single, massive technological shift that is changing literally everything.
You guessed it, it's AI. The artificial intelligence boom is creating a level of demand for memory that we have just never, ever seen before. The very same AI tools that are changing our world, well, they're also eating the world's supply of this critical resource. And that's creating a global shortage that, affects every single one of us.
Okay, to put this into perspective, let's get real for a second. Running just one popular open-source AI model on your own machine, you need nearly 145 gigabytes of VRAM. That is the equivalent of strapping together 7 NVIDIA RTX 4090s, the most powerful consumer graphics card out there. Now, just imagine, multiply that by the millions of AI systems being built in data centers all over the globe. The scale is it's mind-boggling.
And look, this isn't some industry secret. The giants of tech, they're sounding the alarm themselves. There was this internal warning at Google that basically said they need to double their computing power every 6 months just to keep up with AI demand. Every 6 months. They are literally vacuuming up all the available memory on the planet, and there's not much left for the rest of us.
So this creates a really unique economic situation. It's called price inelastic demand. Sounds fancy, but it's simple. For these hyperscalers, the huge tech companies like Google, Microsoft, Meta, memory isn't just nice to have. It is the absolute lifeblood of their AI strategy. So they will pay whatever it takes to get it, which means they are now setting the price for everyone. All those old market cycles of boom and bust we used to see, they don't apply anymore. This is a whole new ballgame.
And this new reality, it forces the memory makers into a really critical decision. See, they only have so much factory capacity. They have to choose who to sell to. And as we're about to see, that choice has a very direct and, frankly, painful consequence for you and me.
So on one side, you've got the normal DDR5 RAM that goes in our PCs and phones. But on the other, you have this thing called high bandwidth memory, or HBM. This stuff is absolutely essential for AI. The best way to think about it is like this. DDR5 is a highway, right? Well, HBM is like having hundreds of those highways stacked right on top of each other, letting AI processors get to massive amounts of data in an instant. Now, if you're a manufacturer, the choice is a no-brainer. HBM is way more profitable, but here's the catch, and it's a big one. It takes up to 3 times more physical space on a silicon wafer to make, and that is the absolute core of the problem.
It all boils down to a zero-sum game. You see, the world only has so much silicon wafer capacity to go around. So every single time a wafer gets used to build a super profitable HBM stock for some AI server, that is a wafer that is not being used to make the RAM for your next laptop or phone. One goes up, the other has to come down.
And don't just take my word for it. As the veteran analyst Klaus Oschholm puts it, when these companies need more capacity for the new, super profitable AI memory, there's only one place to take it from. It's DDR5. The trade-off is direct, and it is absolutely unforgiving.
Okay, so the obvious question here is, why can't we just, make more, right? Just build more factories, ramp up production, and make more of everything. Well, it turns out the global supply chain for this stuff has some really deep systemic bottlenecks that are almost impossible to fix quickly.
Okay, buckle up, because there are 4 big reasons. First, you've got the machine monopoly. One Dutch company, ASML, makes all the crazy complex machines you need for advanced chips. And guess what? They've already said they're not increasing production. Second, the raw material squeeze. Key stuff like neon gas from Ukraine and palladium from Russia. Well, their supply chains are a mess for obvious reasons. Third, there's the people problem. The world is short hundreds of thousands of qualified engineers to actually run these places. And finally, the time barrier. Even if you solved all of that, building a new factory today takes 3 to 4 years. There is no magic wand here, no quick fix.
So, where does that leave us? What does this all mean for you? Well, it signals a really fundamental shift. We are basically witnessing the end of an entire era of cheap, easy-to-get technology. And the real-world impact? We're already starting to feel it. Just look at the forecasts. Industry analysts over at IDC have had to completely tear up their old predictions. Before all this got crazy, they figured the PC market would shrink by maybe 2.4% in 2026. Their new forecast, factoring in the shortage, a drop of almost 9%. It's simple, right? Higher prices mean fewer people can afford to buy new stuff. And this whole situation creates a very clear set of winners and losers. The winners? Big tech, who can afford to just buy up all the supply. The memory manufacturers, who are making record profits. And the big PC companies, who can use their size to get better deals. And the losers? Well, that's everyday consumers like us facing higher prices. It's the DIY and gaming communities, and it's all those smaller brands who just get squeezed out of the market completely.
And I really want to be clear about this. This isn't just another temporary cycle, a dip in the market that'll fix itself. This is a permanent, structural shift in who our technology is even built for. For decades, it was all about us, the consumers. We drove the industry. Today, that is completely flipped. AI is now priority number one, and the consumer market, we get the leftovers.
And all of this brings us to the final, really critical question. We all hear about the amazing things AI is going to do for us, right? How it'll change our lives for the better. But in this new age, where AI is the one setting the price for all of our technology, we really have to stop and ask, what is the true cost of all this progress for the average person?